Hello viewers, welcome back. So this session is going to be the first session on the inventory module in Tally. So in the last session, we completed about understanding the inventory fundamentals. So we will now go to Tally and then see how are we going to enable inventory in Tally. And as an overview today, we will understand the masters. Like, if you remember, we discussed about masters that are required. So three are critical master, like I had mentioned. I'll just quickly recall. One is your stock group, so that you can classify them according to your requirements, so that the fetching information becomes much easier if you are able to group them logically or the way you wanted them to group. Then of course you need your stock item, where the stock item is where you would want to track the movement of that particular item into the organization and out of the organization and within your organization also. And the third one is your unit of measure, right? So you need to associate a proper unit of measure for that particular item, so that when you are analyzing the report or when you are viewing the information, you are clear about the content or the information that you are looking for. Okay, so quickly let me just share my screen. So if you recall, when we did our introduction to Tally on the accounting feature, we had disabled the inventory feature. Deliberately, we had disabled the inventory feature, and I had informed that when we come to our inventory part, we will discuss about it. But just for the information of all of you who are new to Tally, uh, basically when you are creating a company in Tally, by default, Tally will give you the accounting module, and also the inventory module will get enabled. And now with this TallyPrime, if you see, the GST module also gets enabled by default. So these three features, the basic, the fundamental, your accounting, your inventory, and your statutory GST will be enabled by default the moment you create your company. And again, depending on the type of your organization, if you're a pure service provider, then you don't need the inventory module in Tally, right? So how do you disable it, in case if you people have not seen my previous video? So you have this F11 feature. So again, again during my introduction to Tally, I had discussed about that. All the Tally has three uh, primary module. One is accounting module, inventory module, and statutory and compliance. So these are three, actually literally if you see, these are three major modules where you need to integrate information between these three modules, right? So, and with each of this module, like in accounting module, there are so many other features that are available in Tally, like your bill wise detail, your interest calculation, then your multi-currency, right? And various other features are there. Similarly, in the inventory feature, one is you have your basic inventory feature. Apart from that, you also have advanced inventory modules in Tally. Like for example, you have purchase order, sale order module. You can uh, enable tracking of batch wise detail for your stock items. You can also track your inventory's manufacturing date and expiry date. Then Tally also has job work module, and various other modules are there in Tally. In statutory, if you see, Tally provides three basic taxation module. So one in indirect tax, that is your GST module, and the other two is from the point of direct tax compliance, that is TDS, and TCS, which are related to direct tax. Now, all these features, generally you have to enable them through this F11 feature configuration, where you can enable or disable these features depending on your requirement of your organization. And in TallyPrime, if you see, again, you have, the basic features that are there that you need can be enabled through F11 feature. And now in TallyPrime, you will see a lot of other features are moved into your go-to section, which we saw during our accounting thing. And also on the right hand side button bar, there are buttons where certain things are provided there for you to enable. Mostly, you get them through your go-to menu, which is basically Google of Tally, is what I had mentioned. So where you can just go and then enable them from the menu. Also, you can also enable them through the F11 configuration. Now quickly, I'm going to show you the difference that between Tally Prime and Tally ERP with regards to F11 configuration. Now, in TallyPrime, if you have already created a company based on our accounting fundamental and our introduction to Tally on accounting features, you must have noticed that the moment you create a company, the moment you save the company, the F11 feature will pop out automatically, where it is asking you that what all the other features that you want to enable when you start your company itself. But maybe you might not want to do it when you start your company. But then at a later point in time, because of the requirement now you need in your organization, you need to enable these features. So how are you going to enable this feature? The menu path to enable the feature in Tally Prime is through company menu, right? So you have this feature which is F11, right? So either you press F11 or you click here, and this is where the F11 feature is going to be displayed. Now, by default, the F11 feature again gives you the primary module, like in accounts only, bill wise detail, which is the basic primary requirement. In inventory, you have this inventory module, and then you have this GST and TDS, because many of them will be covered under TDS. GST, of course, I mean, like literally every business whose turnover is more than 40 lakhs per annum, if they are supplier of goods, and if they are supplier of services, then the threshold limit for registering under GST is 20 lakhs. So many of the businesses uh, will be covered under GST and TDS also. So that is why, by default, you will get only these options, right? And if you recall in our previous session, if you recall in our previous session, we had enabled this option saying that maintain accounts only. So when we did this maintain accounts only, then only accounts related menu was available to us. So if you see here, we have not enabled inventory yet. So this is the old configuration. Now, when I come to my when I come to my master creation, you will see here that the accounts, only accounting masters and statutory details are available here, right? So inventory master is not there. Now, for you to enable inventory master or to enable inventory module in Tally, there are two ways of doing it. One is, again, if you remember the keyboard shortcut, just press uh, just press F11 from the menu. You don't even have to go through the company menu route. Okay, just press F11. So you can press F11 from any screen, either in the master creation screen, whether you are in the gateway of Tally, or when you are in the voucher screen, you can press F11 and you can enable them. So this is where you can come here, and then you can say, yes, I want to maintain inventory. So I'm going to say, yes, I want to maintain inventory, and I'm going to press Control A. So we will discuss about show more features little later. We will see what are the other features which are there in Tally. Okay. Basically, if you see, uh, this is the only F11 feature that you will see in TallyPrime. But quickly, let me just go to Tally ERP. And when I go to F11 feature in Tally ERP, I have this accounting feature, then I have the statutory feature, right? So in the accounting feature, you will see that the accounting feature itself, you are seeing a lot of options that are there, where you can go to the feature and then enable, like your cost centers, your budgeting scenarios, your banking features, and various other features. Okay. Now here, we have mentioned that maintain accounts only, so that is why you don't have inventory feature. Like if you see here at the bottom of the screen here in Tally ERP, you are already in accounting feature, so it is grayed out. And inventory feature is grayed out because you are saying here that this is again we had configured earlier. So maintain accounts only, we had made it as yes. So the moment you say maintain accounts only, no, then what happens when I press Control A? Now you see here the inventory feature is come. Now, when I go to my inventory feature, you will again get a suite of other inventory advanced modules or features that you can use in Tally. But if you see in Tally Prime, you have only this much. Now, when I go and then enable, right? So again, if you see, it is one single screen which covers your three screens of Tally ERP. That is, F1 is your accounting feature. So these are your accounting features, which are available in the default product. When I press F2, these are my inventory features. We will go through each one of the features in the upcoming sessions, and we will go into the detailing of each of the features. Right. So I'm just trying to give you an idea of how you enable this feature if you are working on Tally ERP and if you are working on Tally Prime, right? And then the third one is my F3 statutory feature. I press F3. So here you have this GST, then you have your TDS and TCS are available here. But then what happens in case of, even though you have made all options yes, everything is in one single screen. So various other aspects of it have been moved into your go to menu list, because go to menu is basically is going to give you access to any information that you are looking for, be it master creation, be it voucher entry, and be it reporting, right? So some of the features are hidden there, and some of them are there in the other button. So that way it becomes much easier. So here now, okay, so I'm just going to make this as, we'll make this simple, then we'll go into each one of them. So I've said here that I want to now enable inventory. So Control A. Now what happens? Now I go to my master creation, and now you will see your inventory masters are listed here because I have enabled my inventory feature. Okay. So this is the menu way, or this is the F11 way. So again, I'm going to press F11 and say that I'm going to say no. Let us see what happens, right? So now I go to create here. Now when I go to create here, it is only showing me my accounting master. Now some of you, especially if you see the owners of the organization or the top management people, they might not be working continuously or regularly on Tally, right? So as an accountant who's day in day out, if you are using Tally or data entry, or senior accountant, whoever is constantly using Tally on a regular basis, you will know where to go and enable. Probably initially even you would have learned through trial and error or through discovery mode and various other things. So now, since you have been regularly working on it, you know that you have to go through F11 feature, and the reports that you would want to see, that under which menu what reports are being provided in Tally, so that it becomes very easy for you to navigate and then fetch those reports. But then what happens for a person who's a, non-regular user, who, basically, when the person now wants some information, how, and this is one of the core design principle in which the TallyPrime has been developed, right? So as a owner of an organization, I would not know where to go. No, I would not know that I have to go to F11 feature, and then I have to go and then enable inventory feature. Only then I'm going to get the inventory menu, right? So TallyPrime gives you this benefit, or this feature, which is very easy for a non-regular user of Tally also to basically enable those features. So now here in F11 we have said no. So I come here to the master creation, and if I see here, you are not seeing your inventory master, right? So now there is this button. So it's very simple. It says show more. Okay, so I'm going to say show more, right? So even with that, if you see, okay, so if I see show less, so if I come to this report in a normal way, then it is going to give me only this. We understood group ledger. Okay, so currency is basically for multi currency, if you want to enable and then work on multi currency. Okay, now apart from that, so in Tally.ERP, if you see in F11 feature, you have this budgets and scenario, right? So now, uh, where is this budget and scenario in TallyPrime? If you see here, when I come here and then when I say show more, then the budgets and scenarios and credit limit is automatically enabled here. So you don't have to really go through the F11 feature and then go and enable this budgets and scenarios. You can do it here. So similarly, what is now we have to do is we have to now enable inventory features, right? So now still after me clicking on show more, still it is only giving me my accounting master. Right now there is another button here which says show inactive, which means Tally says there are a lot of other masters or features in Tally uh, where you would have not enabled them through F11 feature. So if you say show inactive, then Tally is going to show you all the features or the modules that Tally provides you, which are inactive, which is basically you're not enabled them. So I come here and then I'm going to click here saying show inactive. When I click here, you see here you have all these features. Like for example, cost center, I can do it through F11 feature in TallyPrime, or I can do it directly from here. I don't even have to go to F11 feature, enable, and then come here. I just enter and then I'm going to do it. So when we come to cost center, we will discuss all this. So our point of discussion today is inventory masters, right? So now when I come here, show inactive. So I come here, then it says stock group. So now we know what stock group is. We will discuss about stock category once we understand the basic inventory masters. So what we wanted was, we wanted stock group, we wanted stock item, we wanted unit of measure. And yeah, of course, I mean, like if you want to track the movement of the material, then if your material are stored in more than one location, then you can enable your Godown also. So apart from that, the other advanced features in Tally is you have price list and all those things. So similarly, these are the various other module, like you have payroll module, statutory module, TDS, GST, TCS is there, right? So all these informations are available which are not enabled, and you can directly enable from this menu itself, right, from the list itself. Now I want to now basically create a stock item, or I want to create a stock group. So I can come here and enter here. Now the moment I enter here, Tally is now asking you, you need to enable inventory feature for your company. Do you want to enable now? So I'm going to say yes, I want to enable now. It will directly take me to the stock group creation. Now the stock group creation is, if you can just recall, if you recall your accounting group. Okay, the function that we learned of the accounting group is the same for your stock group also, right? So the way you created your accounting group, only thing in accounting, Tally gave 28 groups for you, where out of which 15 were primary group and 13 were subgroups. But in case of inventory, as I mentioned in one of my previous session, in Tally is not going to give you any default masters as far as in inventory module is concerned. So you need to create your stock group, stock item, unit of measure, everything. So no default masters are provided. So now I come here and then I can create my stock group. And now let us see what happens now in my F11 feature. My F11 feature, because you had this dialog box where it says you need to enable inventory. So I said, yes, I want to do it. In the backend, Tally is now enabled your inventory features. The inventory features are enabled. I can now go to my master creation. So where I say create, and now Tally gives me this, the basic inventory module, inventory masters. That is your stock group, stock item, unit, and go down, right? So under inventory, again, we saw there are other features which are inactive currently. Okay. So now if I want to create a stock group, I come here, okay, and enter here. It is going to take me to the creation of the stock group. Okay, I'm going to create my whatever new group that I want to create. I'm just going to show you in the next session. I will actually show you how do you create uh, a primary group, then subgroup, and how do we link the your groups to your inventory. All that we will see with the proper flow of master creation. So this is just an introduction for you to understand how are we going to enable the inventory module in Tally, and how are we going to capture. So the experience for you will be the same, the way you experienced creating your accounting master, that is creation of your accounting group and creation of your accounting ledger. The similar kind of an interface is what you will be having here. So I'm going to say this is my new inventory group, enter under primary. Okay, so quantities can be added. We will discuss all this in detail. So I've created my first stock group. Okay, then I want to now create my stock item, right? So again, if you remember, very important thing I had said in TallyPrime, you have to remember three secrets. One is your right hand side button bar, the second one is your F12 configuration, and the third one in TallyPrime is your go to, right? So if you remember these three things, right, so your discoverability of uh, the information or the action that you're looking for becomes much easier, simpler, and you can achieve it without anybody's assistance or help. So now I've created my stock group. Now I want to create my stock item. So normal tendency is what, I'll press escape, then I'll go to my stock item. Okay, then I enter, and this is where my stock item is going to come. So you don't have to do that. So we were here in the stock group creation, and you see here now on the right hand side, the right hand side button bar says other masters, right? So either you press F10 or click here, and now again the same information Tally is giving you. Now it is asking you what other master you want to create, and you see the flexibility that if you feel that you want to create an accounting ledger, just select accounting ledger and then create accounting ledger, right? So all this any of these masters you can create on the fly, right? But then now in this case we want to go and create our stock item, right? So I go to my stock item, enter, and now it takes me to my stock item creation, right? So I'm going to create my stock item, right? Now under is where is your primary. Now this again, if we can compare the experience with the accounting module, we created a ledger, right? So we created a ledger, and I had emphasized that it is very important for you to classify that ledger under the proper parent, Okay, so because by doing that, you will be actually creating the master in the right way, so that those informations are represented in the right financial statement, right? So a supplier you will create under sundry creditors, so that any balance which is lying in the particular ledger of that sundry creditor will get reflected in your balance sheet on the liability side. And if you make a purchase, if you are classifying the ledger of your purchase under your purchase account, that that information is going to get reported in your profit and loss account on the expenses side, right? So which again, we had discussed that these are predefined statement where it is you have to report your financial statement in those predefined formats. But as far as inventory is concerned, there is no standard reporting which is prescribed to be adhered to or to be followed, right? So here it is important, since now you have created multiple groups. You would have created a separate group for one set of item or one characteristics of items. So that way, now when you are going to select a group, the under is like the way you were selecting your accounting group. Whatever group that you have created in Tally is going to give you the list of all the group that you have created, and you can select that particular group, and then you can link this item to that particular group. Okay, and then I'm we will okay, let me just, so we have created this new group. So I'm going to put this under new group. Category we will discuss little later. Okay, so we just leave this for the time being. Okay, so what we will do is, the category we have not discussed about it. So for you, every time when this category is going to get listed, you are going to select not applicable. Instead of that, again, remember our secret number two, which is our F12 configuration. When you press F12 configuration, you have this option here for your inventory stock item master, where it says use stock category for stock item. Because it is enabled here, that option is available. So I can come here, and then for the time being, I'm going to say no. So that way, you will not have that category every time. You don't have to say not applicable. Okay. So I've selected my group, then my unit of measure, right? So unit of measure, okay, it is already, I have already created earlier. So that is why it is giving me the list of unit of measure. Supposing if I have not created, right? So again, there are two ways of doing it. I can now uh, press Alt C to create it, which is our keyboard shortcut. Otherwise, also, if you see here under the unit list of master, Tally is giving you, if you want to associate for, let's say, this stock item, it is not numbers, but it is say kgs, but then the unit of kg is not available. So then Tally says no problem, don't worry, you go here and then select here and then you create it. Or you can go to other master. Now when you go to the other master, what happens is it will take you to the other master, but then you will lose here. Okay, so instead of that, you click here, create. Okay, and then I'm going to say kgs. Okay, kilograms, enter, and let me say two decimal place. Okay, except now it automatically creates that master and it applies that master in your unit. Okay, now again, it is asking you alternate unit, don't worry, press F12 configuration, right? So say no here, let me also say couple of things. I'm going to say no here, so that we can see all this at a later point in time, right? Okay, so unit of measure, kilogram. Okay, and then if you have any opening balance, that's basically if you already have a company where you have as on the last date of your trial balance, you will have your stock which is there in your books of account. right? So those stocks you can enter here as opening balance, the way we saw entering of opening balance in your accounting master. So you can enter the opening balance here. Right. So this is how you create your stock item. So what did we do now? We created a stock group, we created a stock item, and in the stock item creation itself, we created the unit of measure. So we created this three masters, right? So if you want the godown to be created, right? So you can come here to other masters, okay, and then you can go down here and then enter here, and then you can enter the godown creation also. We will look into this when we start creating our proper set of masters in the next session. Now quickly let's go to Tally ERP, and then we will see what is the difference, right, in the menu of your inventory master compared to TallyPrime and Tally ERP. In TallyPrime, you have this masters, you go to create, and then it is going to, here it is going to ask you, do you want to create accounting master or inventory master, right? But then what happens when you in Tally ERP, right? So if you are in the gateway of Tally, if you have not enabled inventory, then you press F11, okay, and then here uh, originally we had this, right? So we had only accounting info. So we in ERP, you see, you have master section where you have accounting masters and inventory master. Now inventory master is not displayed here because we are not enabled the inventory. So how are we going to enable inventory in Tally ERP? Press F11, which is the feature. Okay, so it is still not showing my inventory feature. We saw this earlier. So you say maintain accounts only, no, right? And then I am going to press Control A, and now I have this inventory feature. So inventory feature is already enabled, right? So now I come to gateway of Tally. When I come to gateway of Tally, I have this inventory info. When I come to inventory info, I come here, and you will have these three masters, right? Stock groups, stock item, unit of measure. Now in Tally ERP, if you want to have more than one go down, then you will go to inventory feature and then enable the option. So I press F11 here. Sorry, I press F11 here. I go to my inventory features, and if you see here, maintain multiple go down, it is no here. Okay, if I come here and then make this as yes, I'll press Control A, and now when I come to my inventory info, you will see that there is this go down option is enabled, right? So stock group, stock item, unit of measure, and go downs. So you go to stock group, and here you have this single and multi. So we saw this in our accounting master creation, and we will see how to create multi masters, inventory masters in Tally when we go into the master creation section session. Okay, so here now it says stock group creation. I come here, and if you notice here, it is going to be the same interface that you are having here. So whatever is the interface that we saw here, I say tally. Okay, so stock group creation, under should quantities of the item be added, and you see here it is going to be the same thing. Okay, name, under, and all these informations are same. So you are going to create your stock group, and now you can come here, and again, even in ERP, if you see, once you are here, you don't have to go through the menu escape and then go here. And on the right hand side button bar, your secret number one, you'll see here that there is this items. So you click on the item, it will now take you to your inventory item creation, right? So enter your stock item name, okay, and then under, it is now going to whatever stock group that you have created, it is going to list out. Okay, and the best part here, if you see, when I come here, if I want to create a new group, now there is this option available, visible to the user, that if I want to put this item in a new group which I have not created, then I can come here, enter, and then create it. But if you see in Tally ERP, there is no create button here, right? So normal tendency is you will say, oh, okay, I should create my stock group. So escape, escape, escape. Instead of that, the keyboard shortcut you have to remember. So if any master that you want to create, and if it is not available in the list, all you have to do is press Alt C. When you press Alt C, you can go and create your master. So I'll say new stock group. Okay, so I'm going to press Control A, and see here the new stock group is already created, and it is also now listing here. Okay, and similarly, when I come to my unit, so we saw in the unit creation here, we saw stock item creation. Okay, so in the unit creation, it again gives you this option to create if the required unit is not already created by you. So I can create here. But in Tally ERP, right, so if I want to create cages, so numbers I have already created. So here there is no option for you, I mean, like, saying that, create from here. Again, you have to remember your Alt C. So press Alt C, and then it takes you here. So you can say kgs, then grams, you can say 2 digit or 3 digit. Okay, accept. Okay, now it automatically uh, uh, captures that master that you have created. It will also list it here. Okay, now again, these options which are additional, which we have not discussed, if you don't want them, remember your secret number 2, right? And here there is this option which says enable component build. We will see what is this at a later stage. So now you will have the simple thing: stock item, stock group, your unit of measure. Okay, and you create your stock item. Your unit of measure is also there. In case if you want to create your unit of measure, see what did we do? We came into stock group and then used our secret number 1 button bar, created the stock item, unit of measure. Okay, if you want to create unit of measure independently, then you come here to unit of measure, and then you come here, create, and then you come and create your unit of measure. Similarly, if you want to independently create your stock item, you come to your stock item, and then you can come to create, enter, and then you are going to get this master screen for you to create your stock item. Okay, so I hope this session would have given you an idea of how to enable inventory master. If it is already enabled, how will you go and create your, where will you go and discover the master creation of your stock group, stock item, unit of measure, and Godown. So we saw this in both TallyPrime as well as in Tally ERP, so that viewers, whichever version of Tally that you're using, so you can be comfortable in learning from this session, and then start implementing uh, for your organization. Okay, so in the next session, we will have a proper structured way of, we will have a master where you create stock groups, and we will create couple of stock items. We will have 2 or 3 types of unit of measures associated to that, so that that master is now going to play an important role in our inventory reporting, and also for capturing the transaction. So we will also see how are we going to start capturing the inventory entries, okay, in Tally. Okay, so thank you all for staying till the end. So as usual, if you have not subscribed, kindly subscribe. You can share this video with your friends so that they can also benefit out of this session. See you all until the next session. Thank you very much.